Hey there, science explorers. Oxy here, the plucky oxygen molecule, ready for another amazing adventure.
And this is my best buddy, Coco, the coolest carbon dioxide molecule you'll ever meet.
Before we dive into today's incredible journey, do us a huge favor. Go ahead and smash that like button and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Clicking that button is way easier than, say, trying to hold your breath for 10 minutes. Today, we're about to embark on one of our most breathtaking, get it? Missions yet. We are going inside the human body to explore the amazing, the incredible, the absolutely essential respiratory system.
You said it, Oxy. I'm all charged up and ready to see the system from the inside out. But are you sure about this? It looks a little dark in there. Last time we explored the digestive system, I almost got mistaken for a bubble in a soda pop.
But for science and for all our friends watching at home, I'm ready to face the great unknown. We're going to answer some of the biggest questions about breathing. Why do we do it? Where does the air go? And what's the deal with sneezing? Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to follow the path of a single breath. We'll start at the very beginning, where air enters the body and travel all the way down into the deepest, most mysterious parts of the lungs. It's a journey that happens thousands of times a day for every single person on the planet, but most people never get to see it up close. We'll be your guides, your tiny tour operators on this biological roller coaster. We'll see the structures that clean the air, the pathways that guide it, and the incredible place where the magic of breathing really happens. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through the inner space of the human body. Think of it like this. We're not just molecules, we're explorers on the frontier of understanding. Every question we ask and every answer we find helps make the world a little clearer. Let the adventure begin. All right, team, here we are at the starting gate, the nose and the mouth. These are the two main doorways for air to enter the body. Think of them as the official welcome centers of the respiratory system. Smelling pizza, smelling stinky socks, but it's also a first-class air conditioning and filtration unit. As we get pulled in by this giant breath, the air is being warmed up and moistened. It's like a spa treatment for air. You don't want cold, dry air going straight to your delicate lungs, do you? The nose makes sure the air is just right.
Whoa, it's like a fuzzy jungle in here. What are all these hairs?
Those, my dear Coco, are called cilia. They are tiny, microscopic hairs that line the nasal passages, and they are covered in a thin layer of sticky stuff called mucus. I know, mucus sounds a little gross, but it's a superhero for your lungs. It acts like fly paper, trapping dust, pollen, and other unwanted gunk. The cilia then do this amazing wave-like motion, pushing all that trapped stuff to the back of the throat to be swallowed, or to the front to be, well, blown out in a tissue. Now, you can also breathe through your mouth, of course. It's a much bigger opening, so it can pull in a lot more air, which is great when you're exercising really hard, but the mouth doesn't have that same fancy air filtering system as the nose. It's more of a direct, no-frills shortcut. So when you're just breathing normally, using your nose is your body's preferred method. It's the scenic route that comes with a free cleaning and conditioning service. Breathing through your mouth is like taking the express highway, faster, but you miss out on some of the important prep work. It's all about having options for different situations.
I get it. It's all about making sure you, Mr. Important Oxygen, arrive in perfect condition. But what about me? I'm on my way out. Does this whole system work in reverse? That's an excellent question.
The exit path is pretty much the reverse of the entry path. You'll be escorted out through these same passages. But before we get to your grand departure, we have to travel deeper. Hold on tight, because we're about to leave the nasal cavity and head for the pharynx, the crossroads where the path for air meets and the path for food meet. Past the pharynx, we come to a critical junction. It's like a fork in the road inside your throat. One path, the esophagus, leads to the stomach. That's for food. The other path is the larynx, the voice box. The larynx leads down to the trachea, the windpipe.
Wait a second, Oxy. How does the body make sure food goes down the right pipe? Great question. There's a little flap called the epiglottis.
It's like a traffic cop. When you swallow, the epiglottis flips down and covers the windpipe. When you breathe, it stays open so air can get through. Now let's zip down the trachea. Woohoo! This tube is pretty special. If you touch the front of your neck, you could feel it. It's surrounded by rings of tough cartilage. Those rings hold the trachea open so it doesn't collapse. Think of pillars holding up a tunnel that keeps a clear pathway for air to the lungs. Without the rings, breathing would be very difficult. Simple but brilliant biological engineering, isn't it?
This is better than a water slide.
The mucus lining from the nose is here too, and so are the cilia. Close up, cilia pushing dust and debris upward and away from the lungs. A continuous cleaning crew working 24/7. They sweep debris toward the throat to be coughed or swallowed. Your body is a self-cleaning marvel. At the bottom of the trachea, there's another fork. The windpipe splits into two smaller tubes. These are the bronchi. One bronchus goes to the left lung, the other bronchus goes to the right lung. We're getting so close to our final destination. Main highway to exit ramps into the Twin Cities. The lungs. Branches get smaller and smaller, like an upside-down tree. Let's pick a side and keep going. To the right lung we go. Here we are, inside the right lung. Look around. It's huge. The lungs are these amazing, spongy, balloon-like organs. But they aren't just empty bags. See how the bronchus we came down is splitting into smaller and smaller tubes? These are the bronchioles. It's like we're in a massive maze of ever-shrinking hallways. Hundreds of thousands of tiny passages branch off from one another. The whole structure is often called the bronchial tree. Trunk, branches, tiny twigs. It's like a tree, only it's all upside down. We're traveling from the trunk, out to the tiniest leaves on the tips of the branches.
Whoa, you're right, Oxy. It's a tree of tubes, so all this branching is just to guide the air to different places?
Exactly. The goal is to deliver air to as many places within the lung as possible, all at the same time. This massive network of bronchioles ensures that the air we breathe in gets distributed evenly and efficiently throughout the entire lung. It maximizes the surface area, which is going to be super important for the next step of our journey. We're following these bronchioles all the way to their very end, to the place where the real action happens. It's where I, Oxy, finally get to do my job. These lungs are protected by the rib cage, a strong cage of bones that you can feel on the sides of your chest. The ribs act like a suit of armor. The lungs themselves are also nestled right next to the heart. That's no coincidence. The heart and lungs work together as a team. The lungs provide the oxygen, and the heart pumps the newly oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. They are the dynamic duo of the circulatory and respiratory systems, constantly working in perfect harmony. And here we are. We've reached the end of the tiniest bronchiole. Look, we've arrived at these tiny microscopic air sacs. They look like little clusters of grapes. These are the alveoli. There are hundreds of millions of these in your lungs. This is it, Coco. This is the destination we've been traveling all this way to see. Welcome to the alveoli, the bustling hub of the respiratory system. It looks like a city of bubbles. Each of these tiny alveoli is wrapped in a web of even tinier blood vessels called capillaries. Alveoli walls, incredibly thin, 1 cell thick. Capillary walls, incredibly thin, 1 cell thick. This thinness is the secret, a super short distance for gas to travel. Short distance, like a door instead of a 10-foot thick wall. Now watch this. As we float here in the alveolus, you can see red blood cells zipping by in the capillaries. These red blood cells have just come from the body carrying a passenger to drop off. That passenger is you, Coco. Blood arriving at the lungs is full of carbon dioxide, waste from cells. There's a lot of you in the blood and not much in the air. This movement is called diffusion. Off you go. Coco leaves the blood and enters the lung. At the exact same moment, Oxy moves from the alveolus into the blood. The air we breathed is packed with me, oxygen. The blood that dropped Coco off is now oxygen poor. I cross the thin wall into the blood following diffusion. I hop aboard hemoglobin on the red blood cells. Hemoglobin, my personal taxi service. It grabs me and carries me away from the lungs. And just like that, the exchange is complete. It happens in a fraction of a second with every breath. Coco is now in the lung, ready to be breathed out. Oxy is in the bloodstream, heading to every cell that needs energy. This silent, constant exchange is the entire reason we breathe. Oxygen comes in, carbon dioxide goes out, a perfect, continuous cycle of supply and removal. Why do we need to breathe? It's all about energy. Your body's cells are like tiny power plants, and they need me, oxygen, to burn fuel for everything you do. Running, jumping, thinking, even watching this video. Our journey today will show you exactly how I get to where I need to go and how you, my dear friend Coco, make your grand exit. But what actually powers this whole process? So, we've seen how air gets in and how the gas exchange works, but what actually powers the whole process? What makes the air move in and out in the first place? It's not like the lungs have their own little muscles to pull air in. The answer lies just below the lungs with a big, strong, dome-shaped muscle called the diaphragm.
A diaphragm? Is it having a party down there?
You could call it a dance party. The diaphragm is the star dancer of the breathing show. It has one main move. When you breathe in, the diaphragm contracts and flattens, moving downward. This downward movement is the key. When the diaphragm flattens, it makes the chest cavity larger. Think of it like pulling back the plunger on a syringe. Increasing the chest volume lowers the pressure inside the lungs. Air moves from higher pressure to lower pressure. So when lung pressure drops, air rushes in from outside. That's an inhale. It's not that you're sucking air in. The diaphragm creates a pressure difference that pulls air in. Okay, so that's breathing in. What about breathing out? Does the diaphragm do a reverse dance move? Precisely. Breathing out is usually more relaxed. The diaphragm relaxes and domes up, moving upward. The muscles between the ribs relax too. The chest cavity becomes smaller, gently squeezing the lungs. That squeeze raises lung pressure above outside pressure. Whoosh! The air full of carbon dioxide rushes out. That's an exhale. So you have a constant rhythmic dance. Diaphragm contracts and flattens, air rushes in. Diaphragm relaxes and domes up, air rushes out. Inhale, exhale. It's a simple mechanical process that keeps us alive, happening over and over all day and all night without us even thinking. It's the rhythm of life, powered by one amazing muscle.
Well, Coco, our journey is coming to an end. We're on our way out with this exhale.
We traveled from the nose, down the windpipe, through the branching bronchioles, all the way to the amazing alveoli. And now we're heading back out into the world. We learned that the nose warms, moistens, and cleans the air we breathe. It's the body's first line of defense, making sure the air is perfect for the delicate lungs. We saw how the epiglottis acts like a traffic cop, keeping our food and air going down the right paths. And we saw the bronchial tree, all those branches leading to the alveoli, those little grape-like air sacs. That's where the great exchange happened.
I hopped off the red blood cells and into the lung, and you, Oxy, hopped on to take a ride to the rest of the body.
It's all about diffusion, moving from where there's a lot of us to where there's not so much. It's so simple, but it's what keeps everything running. The body needs you to make energy, and it needs to get rid of me because I'm the waste product. We also discovered the power behind it all. The diaphragm, that incredible muscle at the base of the lungs that does a constant dance. When it flattens, it creates space and air rushes in. When it relaxes, it reduces the space and air is pushed out. Inhale, exhale. It's the simple, powerful engine that drives the entire respiratory system. From the big structures like the lungs to the microscopic dance of molecules in the alveoli, the whole system works together in perfect, beautiful harmony. Science is so cool. And with that, we're out. What an incredible adventure through the human respiratory system. We hope you had as much fun as we did and learned a lot about the amazing process of breathing. There's so much more to explore in the world of science, from the deepest oceans to the farthest stars, and even right inside our own bodies. So keep asking questions, stay curious, and never stop exploring. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, this is Oxy and Coco signing off. Bye everyone, keep on breathing.